In the famous words of Bill O'Reilly, we'll do it live!
Oh, we're live? We're live now? I've watched
We'll do it live!
I've done that. I have watched that cut on television, or no, YouTube. And
Is he Inside Edition?
he needs to be inside an edition.
I think it was, I don't know. I think he was on Inside Edition.
I don't know where he was. Either that or it was, I don't know what
He was
on.
he was upset.
He was really upset in that thing, and
He just wanted to do it live.
he apparently wanted
Sometimes
it live.
producers want to have everything perfect, and you put the artisan in the cage. He wanted to do it
He
live.
wanted to be freed.
He wanted
to be freed.
He didn't want to be a cage.
Which is pretty much what we all feel right now with the current administration. We want to be freed
Yeah.
of this administration.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, I'm wearing a new shirt.
I like that.
My family and I took everybody. We spent a week at Point Clear, Alabama, the Grand Hotel. It was good. It was good. We ate.
Yeah.
Played golf. I hadn't played golf in years because of my head, and I actually did reasonably well.
That's really good.
Parker, 6 years old, first time he ever played. I rented some clubs for him. They had a little youth.
Oh, yeah.
He's a natural.
He's good. He's got a
I
swing.
am going to be his caddy. He is going to win millions in the pro circuit because this kid, 6 years old, he was hitting shots. He was hitting shots.
He was hitting some shots.
He was hitting shots.
Well.
I was jealous. And Tony is powerful off the tee box, and my daughter Holly, she is too.
She plays too.
Oh yeah.
I'm impressed.
A family that golfs together stays together.
I bet.
The only thing I need right now is like a local club to take me in as a sponsor and just let me play for free.
Oh, like a
Because,
golf club.
like a golf club.
Like a country club.
Like a country club, someone that would feel sympathy over the fact that I am unable to, unless I go spend a week at the Grand Hotel, play someplace relatively nice all the time, because it does make a big difference.
Yeah. So they've got a nice golf course.
Ooh,
over
yeah.
there. Really?
They have two 18-hole courses you can select, and
Wow. Really?
it's like you're playing. There's nobody around you. It's very tranquil, and it's a great setting. And while it was raining all over the place in the south, it didn't rain on us.
Oh,
I saw clouds around and all that kind of stuff. It never rained on us at the point. And so Point Clear, Alabama, Yoke Tree, and then Point Clear, Alabama. And I noticed that you're wearing one too.
I did.
It's almost as Point Clearish as mine.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that whole thing. It's like COVID-19. This is can we say Kung Flu?
Yeah,
This is the Kung Flu.
We are free.
Yeah. This is what the new currency is going to look like. They're going to it's a Federal Reserve note.
They can do coins like that with the mask.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like I'm wondering if this has already been done by Shirtworks BR.
Oh yeah, one of our original sponsors who never sponsored us.
Yeah,
but they were.
And he had these. I think he had these, and he had them on the social media websites. Took them off because they said it was racist.
There you go. They said it was racist?
Yep.
Oh, because of Kung Flu.
Kung Flu.
Oh.
I thought Kung Flu was one of the funniest jokes of 2020.
I thought it was pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it as racist. Of course, apparently anything you and I say nowadays is considered racist. But
yeah.
That's wrong.
Well, okay. You want to talk about? Is this gonna be about the hot topic of critical race theory?
Well,
we don't have to talk about it.
I hope you can talk about it because I haven't really read too much about critical race theory.
I haven't read a whole lot. I haven't read very much at all. To tell you the truth,
I wish someone over here would tell me about it.
I just know that if you start off an argument or a statement with either something for or against, and you start with just the tone of their skin, I think that would be considered racist.
So because you're talking with someone
just because if you say, well, man, because you're white, you're always here. What's a good stereotype for white people? What can I say? Yeah, every time he comes in here and I'm listening to my music, he starts dancing, and it is horrible because he's white.
He's white. He can't dance.
Would that be considered racist?
I don't know, but I've seen a lot of white people that can't dance.
I've seen white people that can dance really well.
Well, that's me. I am.
So my point is,
I'm a dancer.
it doesn't like it's a stereotype. I don't know. This would be a good.
Well,
Why don't get your take on that?
One of the things that if you focus it down to this point, it appears to be that the critical race theory is making everyone fit in these specific slots, and this group, they are racist. This group, they're naturally not racist, and I don't think that that's true of the population of the United States. I generally believe that the bulk of the population of this country, black, white, red, yellow, are not racist.
Mm-hmm.
They are good people who want to live a life, share it with other people, share it with their family.
Yeah.
They want to live a life that's worthwhile. And and then you have these what do you call it, extremists in either group that now those extremists might be the racist in the group, but it's I think that the bulk of our population are good, decent, loving, compassionate people.
Which makes me wonder where this came from and why it's a thing and why it is supposedly being pushed in the schools. I haven't experienced it. I haven't heard it. I've seen it on the news that it is happening, and there's these parents that are coming out. Now, I will say, like the Coca-Cola came out with was it the I think it was the HR department had put something in place or implemented something about people dealing with their whiteness and trying to scale back their whiteness. You don't remember this?
No, they make them feel bad because they're white.
Yeah, well, you should, because of your skin color, and you've had it easier because you were born and raised in a systemically racist, patriarchal system created by white people on the backs of people that are.
Within those
I
people,
think I'm explaining it.
You're doing pretty good. Apparently,
and I don't even know about it, but I'm kind of like I kind of smell what the rock is cooking, as they say.
People feeling that way apparently have not witnessed years of my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that it's really hard to say that people might have a crappy hand, as you say it. Some kid might be born into just a really terrible situation, and that's the hard part of this. What I'm trying to figure out is, where is this coming from? Is it part of the 1619 project? Do you know anything about that?
I know a little bit about the 1619 project, but my personal opinion is this is just an act or desperate act to try and divide people
Completely.
in such a way that
I agree with that.
You got to be so woke that if you're not woke, then you really shouldn't even be counted. And I don't believe that.
Well, the fact that you have to say woke and you can't say awakened is part of the.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
I mean, I don't know why you can't say, well, no, we've been awakened.
You have just awoke me.
Well, so whether or not you want to get away from the Queen's English or the King, or I don't know, was it Queen or King?
It's usually the King's English.
The King's English? Who started
we call it the Queen because the Queen is in.
The Queen's been around since before I've been around. So as far as I know,
she was went through a coronation the year I was born. Wow. Yeah.
I don't even know when that was. You're like 50.
It was
52?
1953.
Okay, 53.
53.
All right.
That's-
Well, so
I didn't watch the coronation.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. But
I remember. All right. Speaking of, I just growing up in the. Let's see. I was born in '76.
I'll trade you.
I'm a bicentennial baby. I was almost on the day. But anyway, I was born in '76. So I grew up in a world where one of my favorite shows was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air growing up.
I enjoyed that program.
I liked it.
I like Will Smith.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was a good show, and it was like a good, wholesome show. The Cosby Show. I grew up watching The Cosby Show.
I like Bill. Unfortunately, until everything kind of came out, I think everybody was in love with Bill Cosby.
What happened? What happened? He just got
He got freed.
Did he get vindicated? Like, I don't really understand what. I don't even want to touch that.
I don't think he was vindicated. I think that there were some procedural questions about the process.
Yeah.
And because
So he got out on a technicality?
I think so.
Wow.
I want to keep that in my files when I get arrested.
Sorry, it's a technicality.
I want the Bill Cosby
Lord.
routine.
Well, so my point being, different strokes. I'm just thinking like there were other shows that I watched. What's the one with Michael J. Fox was in? Was that Family Ties?
Family Ties.
Is that
Family
Family-
Matters.
No, Family Matters. That was the one where the guy was the cop. That was with Urkel, Steve Urkel.
Oh, I enjoyed
That was a good
one.
show too. All these shows.
I
So
like the Daddy Cop.
I
like
grew
the
up
Daddy
in
Cop.
a time where there were black people and white people. If you want to, let's give everybody labels. But we didn't. We grew up in a house to where we didn't judge people though. We didn't say. I don't know. I guess our parents didn't really
But
allow
you
us
judge
to
the
do
people
that.
on the content of their character.
So the content of Will
Something-
Smith's character
Yeah.
was good because he moved away from an area. His mom sent him to live with
From
Uncle
Philadelphia,
Phil.
I think.
Sent him to live with Uncle Phil because Uncle Phil was an attorney. Uncle Phil had gotten his life together. Uncle Phil was going to be a good influence, and so was Carlton.
I love Carlton. I love that
can't-
dance. I can't dance like he did. He had that.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool dance.
Well, he's a dancer. But the point was like I felt as though we grew up in a post-racist society.
What
At my age, in my generation.
I can tell you, we have. It's just that the headlines created by a few,
Yeah.
I believe, created by a few, are trying to make it appear as if the world is crumbling underneath our feet because
Okay,
of that.
so I'm just
It's not true.
my generational standpoint. I'm so confused because I thought we were all past this, and I thought but I do think that there are those outliers. Like you got the people. I remember watching the.
It's a matter of control. They're trying to. If they scream loud enough, they think they can control you, control the masses.
Well, you can.
Well, you can if you follow it, but you have to recognize it. And that's where I was thinking the bulk of our population recognizes that all that CRT stuff is just not real, and I think it's losing the ground that
It's losing traction.
yeah, because people realize that all that is talking about hate. It's really talking about hate, and it's hate on both sides.
It's hating somebody for something they
white
can't
people
control.
hate the people of color. The people of color hate the white people.
Yeah.
And that's not what that is not the United States. That is some people
Not at
who
all.
are trying to gain control of the political establishment, so they can control, set up their little socialistic, communistic society, and that's Americans are recognizing that, and I think that it's going to.
I'm
fall
excited.
By the wayside, because it's.
I'm excited.
I don't think Americans believe that in the least.
I'm pumped up. That makes me feel good.
That's my feelings, and I'm sticking to it.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think there's going to be. I'm hopeful that there's more and more people that speak out about. I don't even,
Just as more and more people are beginning to recognize that Joe Biden cannot stand at a podium and speak.
He can't go grocery shopping.
He can't go grocery shopping. You know, the only thing that I have seen that he's been able to do since he's been inaugurated is go out and eat ice cream. And when they get him at an ice cream place, they say, what's your flavor? What's their favorite flavor? And he can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And he's eating his ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And I've seen that on 2 or 3 different occasions. And I think they should be very proud of.
Speaking of Biden and golf, he has.
I didn't play with him.
One of the no, but he's got one of the longest drives in the history of golf.
Now you just made me throw up in my mouth.
He does.
You just made me throw up in my mouth. That man can't make it past the ladies' tee.
Oh, I beg to differ.
No, he cannot make it past the ladies' tee. And you know what happens when you can't make it past the ladies' tee? I'm not saying it.
All right, I thought you were about to say.
No, this is a family show, and I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't even really know what it means.
I don't want to hear your locker room talk. Nobody wants to hear your locker room. So, I'm excited that there's going to be. I'm hopeful and wanting to hear more and more about people that stand up to the fact that I'm not racist, and don't tell me I'm racist just because
you're trying to gain control of something.
Because I've got a skin color that you don't agree with. I feel like that's how. I had somebody tell me this, and it was profound. When she told me this. So it was a nightmare. There's only a true description of a nightmare, and that's where when you're sleeping you think of like a nightmare, like a bad dream or something like that. But the nightmare is where you can either you're trying to run from something and you can't run, or you're trying to punch through something and you just can't punch through.
I've experienced that.
Yeah.
I have experienced
I would imagine that everybody.
But it was under heavy Percocet.
Well, anybody that's been under heavy Percocet probably feels the same way. Was this for a reason, or just as like recreational?
No. And when I had my second brain surgery, I was in such agony because I had, with my brain being exposed to the skull, I contracted meningitis.
Yeah.
And the pain was unbearable. So they gave me the strongest Percocet pill you could give. It was strong. I took one pill.
I believe it.
They wanted me to take 2 a day. I took one pill, and for 2 days, I saw visions. I had monsters chasing me.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And
people do that on purpose.
And people do that on purpose. And so I had this bottle of Percocet pills, the strongest ones you could take. And after 2 days, I told my wife, I said, throw these away. I'm never taking that again. And so I went to.
What'd you got? You got to take something for the pain.
They got me on. They started. Thank God, some steroids and some tramadol, and they were strong doses. But boy, did they help! But tramadol is not a narcotic. And but I took that bottle of Percocet, which now had 59 tablets.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, I went to my internist for a checkup to keep up with what's going on. And I gave the bottle to my internist friend, who's also a fraternity brother of mine, and I said, hey, do you know of any patient or someone that doesn't have the income that could buy, that could use these? And he said, I can't do that, Kip, but...
Wait. Time out. You brought him back to your doctor to see if you could sell drugs?
No, he's not. No, not if I. No, I was giving him to him in case he had
I just listened to the half end of that story.
You were looking for the drugs. So I said no. I was letting him have them, and he wasn't the one that prescribed them to me. It was my neurosurgeon did that.
Yeah. So you didn't sell them, you just gave them.
I gave it to him. I said, in case you have
Is
a
that still
patient,
illegal?
I don't know. I said, can a patient use these that, you know, that maybe doesn't have the income or the insurance to buy these kind of things, and they're in agony.
So you're trying to give drugs to homeless people?
No, I was giving them to my doctor, who'd been my doctor for at that point up to 30 years. And he said, well, I can't do that, Kip. He said, but it proves to me that you're not a drug addict. I said, well, why you say that? He said, because if you were a drug addict, you could take those on the street and sell those things for $10, $20 a pill. I said, you can? I said, could you tell me what street it is?
He said, yeah, I'm not a drug addict. He's like, you're not a very good business person.
I just threw him down the toilet. I couldn't, oh my God.
Most of those drugs need to be thrown down the toilet.
And I put on my things that you're allergic to. When you have I told Percocet, I don't ever want to take a Percocet in my life.
Vivid nightmares.
It was vivid.
All right.
I had monsters chasing me.
So so you monsters chasing you, and you just couldn't run away fast enough, right?
No, well, I was getting to the side, and they'd run past, then they'd come back. It was terrible.
Yeah. So
I was kicking,
the nightmare, right? But it just didn't feel like it was to any avail. Like you couldn't either run fast enough, you couldn't push.
It was constant.
That's what they say is a definition of a nightmare. So most of these people that are out here in the public, including sometimes myself, will feel like you're trapped and you can't do anything to it. You can't run fast enough away from it. So in turn, like, it actually kind of puts people in a nightmarish scenario. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, because you've got, like you say, all these small group of loud people that are pushing all this stuff of how you are and how this is what you are, and that's never a good thing, no matter who you're doing it to, because the person that you're basically victimizing, I mean, I would get on a limb just to say that person now is going to be living under that nightmarish kind of state, and where they feel like they can't say anything because let's say if you worked for Coke and you were white and you were like, wait a second, I'm okay with being white and I didn't do anything wrong and I love everybody, and you could, you run the risk of losing your livelihood, which in essence is kind of like losing your life.
If they would push that kind of thing. But I think people, as I said, I think it's coming to the surface.
I'm excited.
The realization of what that's all about.
I don't want people living in a nightmare.
I don't either.
Nobody.
No, and like I say, our population are good, decent, compassionate, loving people, and they don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, the people that participate in human trafficking, they should be.
Well,
living
they're
in a
bad.
nightmare.
They're the ones that should be in. We should give them a nightmare.
So instead of making everybody wear a mask on airplanes, why don't you turn those resources down to the coyotes down there? And
talking about masks on the airplane, I've been reading a little bit about that Delta variant. Apparently that thing's a little bit tougher. I know a couple of people who have contracted this new Delta variant thing, and they had the vaccine.
I know.
And they're sick.
So
at this very moment, as I speak to you, they are sick.
I believe you.
And so I'm thinking, should we go back to wearing masks?
No.
What do? We catch the Delta variant?
Everybody stop getting
sick?
Yeah.
Well, then give me some Percocet.
Just, get your vitamin D. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I will say this. I would say do some research on past mRNA vaccines and their studies, and to see how they reacted when exposed to new variants of said virus it's supposed to protect from.
Well, on television, and not from Dr. Fauci, I was somebody I heard on television said that if you've had the vaccine, it does provide protection against this Delta variant. But I do know two people.
But does it?
That's it. I do know two people that have come down with it.
Doctors can get on anywhere and say anything. Pretty much. It seems like that.
Well, that's what's happened for the past year and a half.
Except for, well, unless you're saying something different than what some tech giants would like you to say, then they cancel you. So I don't know. I don't know if you can believe. I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing a whole lot of stuff.
Well,
I don't know.
up until these friends contracted this thing, I was feeling pretty confident that that okay, everything's back to normal, kind of open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's good.
Well, you can go back and look at the studies they've done to see if masks made a difference. I think they've got.
Maybe after you and I die, we'll be able to proclaim, that vaccine, it just didn't work. Those masks just didn't work.
Well, here's the kicker: we're both gonna die. It's just a matter of how.
Yeah, but I don't want to take the next bus.
Well, nobody wants to take the next bus.
But
But it doesn't matter because the bus is coming for you.
I know where it goes, and I'm confident in that. I'm just not ready for the next bus. Talking about bus.
Okay, let's get off.
Did you hear
of this.
about the new malt place just down the road here? It's opened
No.
up. It opened up a couple days ago.
What is it?
The Yard.
What is it called?
The Yard.
What does it sell?
Malts, ice cream. Oh, and they sell their malts in these big old.
I hate to go back.
They're not sponsors.
I hate to go back to the COVID, but
Oh, you don't want a malt?
do you know who's at most risk from this disease?
Ice cream people?
No. Morbidly obese and diabetic people. So
We're not morbidly obese. We can at least get a malt.
no, I agree, man. But it's just, and I hate this. COVID has messed up my head because I can't be happy.
Don't talk about your haircut.
I can't.
It's
No,
nothing about your
no.
haircut.
I mean, inside my head.
Oh, inside.
Because I can't be happy about places that open up that sell over amounts of sugar because I love sugar. I do. Whenever Krispy Kreme opened up their new spot, I was like in the dead of the pandemic, and I was like, wait,
Where's
that's
the new
what's
spot?
killing everybody. I don't remember what road it is, but you could.
I didn't know they had a new spot.
Oh yeah, and there were lines down the block.
For
trying-
donuts?
For donuts. I'm telling you, people were so excited, and that was after it came out. There was there was all these things that came out, and then like it got like kind of put away. Like wait, don't talk about that. It was like the comorbidities they were talking about. The people that were really ending up sick and really dying were just. It was mostly.
It was mostly caused by Krispy Kreme donuts and malts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my stars! I'm gonna die.
Not in an acute sense, but over a long period of time.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm kind of cute myself, but that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to use some terminology that I learned this weekend.
Well, ooh. Well, this show has really in your vocabulary. Or should I say your vocabulation skills?
It's gotten a lot better.
That's a new word I just made up. Vocabulation.
I thought that was a real word.
It sounds like one, doesn't it?
Well, it's actually whenever you take words and you process them in your head, that's your vocabulation.
That is vocabulation. It always helps if you verbulate a word. If you can make a word into a verb that's not a verb, but you verbulate it.
I think there's some profanity that you can do that with.
That's not this show. This show is nothing but G-rated.
This is, well, I don't know. Sometimes,
Although you're talking about
sometimes
locker
your
experience.
locker room talk.
Sometimes my locker room talk veers off. When I was a senior in high school, you remember, I don't know how your high school locker room was, but it had those baskets that you put your clothes in, and while you dressed out in your gym uniform or whatever and went out.
Yeah, we had lockers.
Oh, no, not us. We had baskets.
Oh, yeah.
With a lock. It was locked, but it was a basket.
Yeah.
And then after you finish that, you take a shower and put your.
Well, I never showered in the locker room.
Why?
Because PE was like, well, I played football, so it was like football, and then you just go home. Shower at home.
Sourdough. Well, I can remember this one guy. He was a friend of everybody.
Yeah.
He decided it was his senior year, and he wasn't going to wash his uniform all year.
We did that for football. Well, I mean, I did that for my jersey. Well, my practice jersey.
Yeah, but that was to keep people from tackling you,
Right.
Because you don't want them touching you.
Yeah.
And the inside of your helmet smelled like vomit.
Yep.
Anyway, he didn't wash his uniform all year.
Yeah.
By a certain period of time, I forgot when it was. It was horrendous. And actually, I think within 6 months, the uniform could have walked out on its own.
Right. I was about to say, I walked in and you saw him. You're like, "Hey, man!" You're like, "Oh, wait, it's just his uniform."
We would tell him, "Hey, you have got to."
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Oh God, I just. A couple of years ago, I mentioned that to him on Facebook.
Like a private message.
And he let it go. Yeah, it was a private message. And he never commented on it. 50 years later, I remember, this is my 50th anniversary
Really?
From graduating from high school, yeah.
Nice.
May of 20,
Are y'all doing a party?
They were going to do a party. They were going to have a 50-year reunion. I think if I remember correctly, I'm going to be out the weekend they're doing it. I'm going to be out of state.
Oh.
But it got knocked back because of COVID. And I think they pushed it back to September, but I haven't heard anything lately. So
COVID. Well,
but
so
it's hard for me to believe 50 years. That went by so fast.
Oh yeah, overnight. Well, watch out for this Delta variant throwing shade on the 2022 election cycle. Just saying.
Well, see, that's one things I do realize that we probably shouldn't worry about COVID this year. Because 2021 is not an election year.
You should worry about COVID never.
Next year in 2022, when it's an election year, COVID is going to be the worst thing that's ever. There's going to be a revamp.
Oh yeah.
There'll be some other Delta something variant.
Oh, it's coming.
I was in Delta Tau Delta fraternity when I was at college, so there'll be a Delta Tau Delta variant.
Was that the ones that used to shotgun beers and beat up the nerds? Oh, that was Delta.
No.
Was that?
What
movie was that? I can't remember that. Revenge of the Nerds.
I remember that.
Lambda.
I was at the bank when Animal House came out, and I was telling my bosses at the time about the fraternity. I said the fraternity wasn't like that. And so for weeks and weeks and weeks, months maybe, I talked about the fact that just wasn't real. Well, just so happened, there was some Professor Willie Statz and a couple of others were given a conference at the Union, and they invited the banks around to come in and listen. And so myself and my bosses, a few other people, I said, let me come pick y'all up. I'll take you. We'll go park in front of the fraternity house because parking was kind of difficult back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll just park at the fraternity house. We'll catch the bus.
Those
And
big
it takes us
cars.
right to the Union.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, that's a great idea. So I went and picked everybody up. We got to the parking lot about 7:30 in the morning. I said, look, let me show you that the fraternity is not like you see on Animal House.
Mm-hmm.
They said, okay. So I had like these 3 or 4 guys walking with me. It's 7:30 in the morning. It was a class day.
Mm-hmm.
So we walk in, it's completely dead. And on the entire first floor of the house, every piece of furniture was upside down.
Yeah.
And
2 naked girls run out the...
I looked back at the guys I said, it really wasn't like this all the time. I couldn't believe it. I opened the door and every piece of furniture was upside down.
Yeah.
I went, oh, Lord.
Supposedly they were pretty wild. I never was in a fraternity.
It was a good time, and
Yeah.
and now nearly almost 50 years later, you still have maintain the friendships with people.
Right. I
And,
know.
and
And that's good. Yeah. I like that.
My best friend, he and I've been best buddies since we were 6 years old,
Yeah.
and we're still best buddies all that time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love him.
Yep. That's good. Well,
Well, guys, 30-something minutes already.
I know. Time flies.
Yeah, when we speak, nobody's listening.
Not
But the time goes
many
by
people.
fast.
I know. I'm always kind of worried, like, are we going to say the wrong thing? I'm like, nobody cares anyway. Maybe they do. Maybe these will be unearthed one day.
I look at it
I'm hoping.
as a heritage moment. We
Yeah.
are leaving things on the World Wide Web that our grandkids and great great grandkids will say, "Look, that's my great 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 grandfather. I can hear him talk.
Yeah.
He's insane, but I can hear him talk."
Yeah. Well, and that's what I love about it. We're all flawed,
Oh,
and that's the beauty of it.
yeah, that's
All
true.
these people running around pointing fingers.
Acting better than
Yeah.
thou. That's
Now
wrong.
I'm gonna say maybe I'm kind of a fan of shaming. Like I'm okay with shaming people. Sometimes I think that sometimes that's a good thing because that can push you to be a better person. So I did hear this that whenever these kids that are acting nuts right now, and now I'm old enough to where I look back or I'm looking down at the kids and I'm like, good Lord, what's wrong with these people? Because I was there, and I feel like I'm a lot.
Yeah, you didn't go to prison.
I'm a lot more. I don't know. I'm a better person than I was at another point earlier in life.
Well, you're smarter.
And I feel like you do learn, and then so the people that say like kids are they're the best they are at 18, and that's where and there's Jordan Peterson. You know that guy? I've heard him say that. His statement was that you're not the best that you can be. You can be a lot better than when you're 18, a whole lot better. And every day you should try to be better.
And that's the same true that's true for when you're 68.
Yeah.
You should always strive to be better.
Right.
And that's why I believe this CRT thing is going to go by the wayside, because everyone realizes that deep down inside, everyone has the ability to be good, compassionate, and loving.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
And
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that's another thing I heard. The world would be a lot better place if more people loved their children.
Well, that would be real good too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spoken with JC lately? CJ. I'm sorry, Conspiracy
yeah.
John.
Yeah. No.
No, he's not been hit by any conspiracies.
No,
That's
he's
good.
been busy working. Whenever I try to, I usually just hear like nail guns and saws going on in the background. So I don't know what he's working on.
Well, he's got to make money because he's got to pay taxes for you and me, since that's what I know Schumer and Pelosi and Biden want.
Yeah.
Well, Biden doesn't know. Biden's handlers,
I
they
think
want
the-
to raise the taxes.
I think whenever they raise the taxes, that's when everybody stops working.
Well,
Right.
I think they're that
'Cause
one
if
of
you
the
stop
things.
working, then you don't have to pay taxes.
One of the things that we found in
right?
Alabama last week when we were at Point Clear, every place we went, every place, they were dying for employees. They were had signs all over the eastern shore of Alabama. People needing employees to come. We need help. We
Yep.
need help. Everywhere. And I was thinking, I guess Alabama stopped the federal funds for unemployment.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because everybody was clamoring for employment.
I don't know. I think
Maybe they didn't.
because Louisiana hasn't stopped it yet,
Louisiana
and
stopped
there's help wanted signs everywhere. Which I look at those and I'm just like, man, it's super easy to find a job. So when I talk to my kids, I'm like, you're gonna have it made. It's gonna be easy for you to get a job.
You know,
But-
I used to think that too.
Maybe not.
But when you tell people you've had 2 brain surgeries, that tends to say, they're not all, they never get that interested in it. It's really,
Does that make you a protected class?
It should. I should, because I would love just having a part-time job.
Huh.
I'm not in charge of. I don't need to be in charge of anything anymore. Just something worthwhile. It's
Yeah.
Even at my age,
Yeah. You got to have something to do.
gotta have something to do.
Yeah.
I do paint,
I know.
and I
Then they're good.
I do.
They are really good. No matter what Mr. Ken says. he's your harshest critic.
He and I are almost brothers.
He's honest.
Dr. Ken Reed, he is too honest.
But yeah, no, I mean, I can't do that. I don't know many people that can do that. Anyway,
I hope that you have a good week. I hope everybody out there has a wonderful
I know. Do something nice for somebody.
Yeah, like watch our program and share it.
That's right.
One
Share.
day you may see us on,
Hopefully not.
hopefully not CNN.
For anything negative. Yeah, I don't think we do well on CNN, MSNBC. I don't think we do well. Maybe I
I
don't.
blocked all those on my. I don't even.
Yeah.
When I click through channels, it doesn't even register. It goes right past me.
I don't know, man. I think you should go to them every once in a while just for some comedy. Comedy gold.
Oh.
They've got some good stuff in it. Well, like comedy. Because some of it is just so.
It's ridiculous.
Where's
their mindset?
Anyway.
It's unbelievable. Well, have a great day. We'll see y'all later. Bye.